Greetings and welcome to Caring for Seniors. Each week, I sit down with Dave Stieglitz and we discuss all aspects of senior living, from housing through to financial planning and everything in between. Today, we're going to talk about seasonal celebrations.
Seasonal
And
celebrations.
what does that mean?
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
We've got a lot of things coming up. We've
Yes.
got probably the first one is going to be maybe Halloween.
Maybe.
And then we've got Thanksgiving, and then there's, the Christmas and the Hanukkah and all the different celebrations. So what does that mean for you?
Well, it's a time when families get together.
Yes.
Sometimes for the first time, and who knows with COVID if people have even done Thanksgiving in the last few years or done Christmas in the last few years. So maybe we're getting together for the first time in many years. And, children come to mom and dad's and they haven't been there in a while. And sometimes they're quite surprised with what they find. There's mom and dad might have declined a little bit, and they sound good on the phone or they look good on FaceTime or however they're connecting.
Sure.
But you go to the house and maybe you see some things that kind of set you back a little bit.
So what are the points that perhaps people should be looking for?
Yeah, so is there a lot of unopened mail? Has something started to stack up? Looks like things aren't being attended to as they used to. How sometimes it's scary to get in the car with mom or dad when they're driving. Let's go down to the grocery store and do some shopping for the dinner. And mom drives, and oh my gosh, you're like, come back and your knuckles are white and all of that. Or maybe there's a few dings, a little few dents in the fender that didn't used to be there. Or
Right.
a few scrapes on the edge of the garage door coming in and out, or something, things that used to always be paid attention to.
Mm-hmm.
The mom was always meticulous about the flower bed, and now the flower bed's kind of overgrown. Or she cooks her famous sweet potato casserole, and it doesn't taste the same. She left something out, or
Yeah.
any number of things that are just off, that aren't quite the same. The dad always used to tinker and stuff like that in the garage, maybe, and he's not doing that anymore. Is their lifestyle changing? Do you see things that kind of set you back a little bit and wonder, the main focus is safety. Are they safe at home? Some of the tipping points that we need to look at of getting maybe someone in the house is the house clean? You can get a home health agency to come in and they can actually do some light housework. They can prepare some meals and put them up in the fridge and stuff. They don't necessarily have to leave their house, but we might want to bring some help in, to help them through this difficult time.
Yeah, make a transition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness, if somebody calls you and says, "Look, I've got this problem. We've noticed some of the things that you were talking about. We're not really sure whether they need somebody to come in and help them in the home, or whether one or other of them or both of them should be somewhere where there is somebody looking after them most of the time." How does that process take place? How do you find out what's needed? Are there people that you can connect them with that can go along and say, "Oh yeah, we noticed this and we noticed that"?
Yeah, so I always say it's never too early to have the conversation.
Right.
It's never too early just to kind of look and talk. Our service is free. There's no cost or obligation to have us come, and we can come to the house and meet and talk with mom and dad, but yes, there's a lot of different directions this can take, and I just love to be able to sit with. I love it when I go in and there's like 3 or 4 kids and mom and dad, and they're all at the table and they're all kind of on the same page. Hey, we've got some concerns, and we want to know what our options are. Because I can talk. Obviously, I talk about assisted living and memory care and housing options. But before you get there, maybe we're just that stack of mail on the table and bills aren't getting paid. We don't want this whole thing to collapse around that and all of a sudden have delinquencies.
Right.
Maybe we just need someone to come and manage your finances for you, take over your bill pay. Those are quite common services that people need, and they're very easy to find, and there's some wonderful. We had Heather Jackson on,
Yes.
and that's what she does. So people can stay at home, but they just need their finances so that their taxes are paid and all those kind of things. Or maybe, again, the house isn't quite as clean as it used to be, or mom's struggling with cooking. Home health aides, they can come in and they can prepare meals. They can go shopping with them. They can do some light housekeeping and stuff, and a lot of things that can be done to help keep people in their homes longer, because that's where people want to stay.
Yes.
They really do. Nobody wakes up in the morning and
course.
says, "Oh boy, today I'm moving to assisted living." Yeehaw! It's not kind of how it goes.
Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it?
No.
So there are also, as we've had on, Prism, who has all these lovely gadgets and things like that people can use, which assist them and help them stay in their own home as well. So maybe those are things that perhaps some of the children don't actually know about, and they're not aware. So again, you know, they can ask the question, and you can give them answers.
Exactly.
If there is a situation which perhaps needs a more immediate attention, how long does it normally take, the process from finding what you need to do to completing the service?
The normal process is probably a month, I would say.
Right.
But I mean, I've done same day placement in an emergency situation where it just really was a bad situation, and I was able to find a community and get them placed that day. But most of the time, I mean, we meet, we talk, we schedule tours, we go kick the tires, you know, because this is a big decision.
Sure.
You know, if you're leaving a house, you know, these people have stayed in their homes for 30, 40, 50 years, and this is where we're going to live the next time. I like to take the time to tour several communities, because it's as much, I mean, there is the clinical side, okay? We want someone that can meet your needs clinically, medically, but also culturally.
Yeah.
This is a big part of it that we spend a lot of time on. I want to know who mom is. I want to understand dad. What are the kind of things that can get them engaged? What type of environment? You know, I don't want them waking up the next morning and looking around saying, I don't have anything in common with these people. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know, let's get them to a place where they'll meet people of similar backgrounds, of similar interests, where they can get engaged and start to thrive again. I love it when I've helped people that were kind of declining at home. They'd lost their mobility. They were just kind of cocooning, and they were failing to thrive. And then we get them matched up in a great community, and you come back, you know, 3-4 months later,
Different
and
people.
they've got a spring in their step, a sparkle in their eye. They come up, I get a big hug. Dave, we're having so much fun. We should have done this years ago. But you know, there's just things that it's like the frog in the pot, right? It just happens slowly, you know, and you don't really notice it until you come and you visit over the holidays. Oh my gosh, this is so different than it was 6 months ago or a year ago. And when you see those things, let's start the conversation. Just because we talk doesn't mean we're moving next week.
Yes.
Okay, but let's start the conversation so everybody knows what options are available out there. And then you guys tell me when the time is right.
And can couples move together?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, so it's not a case of...
No. Yeah. Couples, pets, you know, all these things.
Really?
Yes. All these places are pets. Pets are a big part of people's lives.
Yes.
Especially seniors' lives. So
Yes.
couples can move together. You know, it's funny how often it is that, like, one spouse will have dementia, will have cognitive issues, but be physically fit. And the other spouse is sharp as a tack, but their body is failing them. And
But as one.
as one, they make it together.
Yeah, really.
It's funny how that works a lot of times. But yes, so they have some different needs, but yes, we can meld those together. And definitely they go together as a couple. And, you know, assisted living, like maybe the rate for what the first person is like $4,000. Second person gets in for $800. So it's very economical.
Yes.
The most expensive way is to split them and try to maintain the house for one and the community for the other. It's much more economical to go together.
And this is obviously something else that people probably don't realize. How much is surrounding this myth that, well, that's it, you know, we couldn't afford to go to a home, we need help, we can't afford it. How do you find out this stuff? I mean, is there information out there to tell you, or do you need someone like you who will be able to put it all into perspective and this is what you need to know?
You really do. I mean, if you try to go out there and find the pricing and things on your own, you know, where are you going to go? I mean, you're just going to go to the ones that are within a 5-mile radius of your home? Well, I mean, I'll tell you, there are pockets of Jacksonville and Northeast Florida where there's a lot of competition, and they're beating each other up to get people in. And there's other places where there's few and they're charging what they want. And if you only go there and say, oh my gosh, everything's $5,000 and up, well, that's not true.
Yeah.
I can find quality assisted living in the low to mid 2000s. You know, it can start there and go
Yeah.
up. I worked with a couple that he was a retired pastor, but he had some time in the military. And you know, I think his Social Security was like 800, hers was like 700. But because he was a veteran and we got that extra $2,300, their budget went up, you know, to over 3,000. And I found a place for the two of them.
Oh, that's
And I mean, he was in a wheelchair and she had dementia. It was that thing. She was physically fine, but she had dementia. He was sharp as a tack, but was in a wheelchair. But we were able to do that for them with that VA benefit. So the pricing points, yeah, I know where they are. It's going to be hard for you to find them on your own, but I know where they are.
So if people want to know more,
Mhm.
I mean, we talk about Oasis regularly, but how do they find you? How, you know, what are the contacts? Is it only on online, or do you have a telephone number that people can connect with you?
Telephone.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, yes, we have. Yeah, I mean, the obvious one online, oasisjacks.com is the website. Or our main phone is 904-386-5708. Put that on the screen. Yeah, 904-386-5708. But yeah, and we answer that all the time. It is a cell phone. It can receive texts also.
So actually, the thing we should stress is that if you see anything, then just ask the question, because it's never too soon to ask, and we're not taking anyone away.
No, we're not.
It's just trying to find out what the options could be.
No cost or obligation. It's just all about education.
Fabulous. Thanks for coming in and discussing this with us today.
Thanks, Adrian. It's always fun.
And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more about Oasis Senior Advisors, you can also contact iwantabuzz.com.
We are local. We are your local experts in senior housing. We have taken the time to personally set foot in just about every licensed senior community in Northeast Florida. And not just, you know, be there, but also pay attention to, you know, is the same staff there, or are they having turnover? Are the residents smiling? Are they happy? Are they interacting with the staff? And what is the culture? What is the personality? There's a lot of intangibles that we pick up on and remember when it's time to match a client with the right community. The intangibles are as important as the tangibles. And I think that sets us apart in that intimate personal knowledge of the communities in Northeast Florida.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of Caring for Seniors. I am your host, Adrienne Houghton. Each week, I sit down with Dave Stieglitz, who is the president of Oasis Senior Advisors Jacksonville, and we discuss all aspects of senior living. Today, we're delighted to welcome into the studio Michelle McCormack, who is with Millennium Physician Group. Welcome, Michelle.
Welcome. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So, just tell us a little bit about what is Millennium Physician Group. It obviously has something to do with doctors.
It does. It has a lot to do with healthcare. So a Millennium Physician Group is kind of an umbrella for a physician group based out of Fort Myers, Florida. Been around since 2008. And in the Jacksonville region, we have 25 offices, mostly primary care. So that is where we have internal medicine and family medicine physicians. We have MDs, DOs, PAs, and nurse practitioners as our providers in the Millennium umbrella. We also have specialists as well. In the Jacksonville area, we have an endocrinologist and a rheumatologist now, in addition to our primary care offices. But down south in Fort Myers, we have a larger group of cardiologists, pulmonary doctors, PTs, so the growth continues.
And now you're an accountable care organisation.
That is correct.
Would you like to explain to the viewers exactly what that means?
Yeah, so it's an ACO, which it's kind of complicated. So I can give you like the very little version of an ACO, but it is an accountable care organization, which means our purpose as our physicians and in each one of our offices is to save you money. We want to keep our patients out of the ER. And what that means is we're here for you 24/7. We have nurses on call. We have home health care that will come to your house. If you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're feeling like your blood pressure is a little out of control, we have a phone number that you can call. It's a really great opportunity for you to stay out of the ER, stay healthier by staying out of the ER while keeping the costs down. We work very closely with Medicare, and in the United States, we're the number 2 ACO in the country, which means Medicare reimburses us back for saving them money every year. And then in that reimbursement, we take that and divvy it out to our entire staff.
Wow.
In
That's
bonuses.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's a really nice organization to be a part of. But the ACO is just something that a lot of people don't know about.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of that hidden gem part of our company.
Your clientele then is mainly seniors.
Correct.
Okay. We're not a pediatrician.
No, we have some nurse practitioners that like to see the families, the 12 and overs, but we don't offer like childhood immunizations. So yes, our main focus is going to be that patient that's aging into Medicare or that 65 and over patient.
And when you say you'll go to their home, that could be their home, it could be an assisted living community or other senior community.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And we have several physicians who would love to be going into the assisted living facilities, into the independent care, into the memory care, because this is what they went into medicine for, was to treat these seniors who are otherwise not getting good health care.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So are you actually saying that somebody who starts off with a Millennium physician and then they go into residential care can then continue to have their own doctor follow them through?
Yes, that is true. We don't have a lot of physicians that are doing that, but I know each one of our doctors would love to be able to make
Have
that
the opportunity.
happen. Right, of course. So yes.
So let's talk about you mentioned that your base is in Fort Myers, but where are the MPG offices located?
Right. So in the 5-county region, we have an office in Baker County, which is in McClenny. We have 3 in Clay County, so 2 on Kingsley right now and 1 in Middleburg. We have 1 in Ponte Vedra. Then we have 4 offices right now, just growing in Nassau County. So 3 in Fernandina Beach, 1 in Yulee, and then the rest are all over Duval County. So total, we have 25 offices in the 5-county First Coast region.
And you are just a Florida-based.
Yeah, at this time. There's growth potential maybe into Georgia, Alabama, Texas, but for now we're in 19 counties in the state of Florida with over 600 providers, over 150 offices servicing 500,000 people. 500,000 patients.
So what do you think makes Millennium different from some of the other practices?
I think as an independent-based physician group, it gives people more options. At one point, all of our doctors in this region were part of the Baptist system, part of the Mayo system, part of the Memorial system, even Ascension, St. Vincent's. And these doctors at one point or another went off as independent groups. Well, now they're part of a bigger independent group, which is allowing our doctors to be doctors. It's allowing the doctors to service their patients, to have time with their patients and not worry about the insurance and the overhead and the staffing. All of that falls under the Millennium umbrella.
So basically what you're saying is that they're not attached anymore to Mayo or
Right.
to Baptist or to Ascension. It's wherever the doctor feels you're best suited to be.
Right, and we do refer to those big box hospitals and to other referral agencies in town. And whether if you need a specialist in oncology, for example, and you choose your doctor to be a Mayo doctor, our doctors will refer you there.
So as opposed to someone going to a doctor that's in the Baptist network that's only going to refer within the Baptist
Correct.
network, your patients have the ability to, well, I really do want to be referred to the Mayo system.
Right.
Or the St. Vincent system or
Right.
the Baptist system.
Yeah, and we're one of the largest independent healthcare-based groups in the state of Florida. So
Golly gee.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite something, isn't it?
it is.
Now, you mentioned specialists. Did you actually talk about exactly how many specialists we have in this particular area?
Right. In the Northeast Florida region, we have 2 specialists. They just joined the Millennium team in September. One is a rheumatologist, which will help your aches and pains, joints, arthritis care. And then another specialist is a endocrinologist who will help manage your diabetes and so forth and so on. So they're both new to this area and open to accepting new patients all the time. You don't have to be a Millennium patient to see one of our specialists.
Do you consider DOs to be specialists?
No, they're considered physicians.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you a question, because I know that there are some people out there who use a lot of chiropractors,
Mm-hmm.
but actually DOs are slightly better than a chiropractor, really, aren't they?
Oh, yeah,
Because-
DOs go to med school. They're
Yeah.
just doctors of osteopathy versus your medical doctor. So, they're still treating patients the same, but very much maybe in more of a homeopathic way, or in more of a direction that's not necessarily medicine based.
Right. So they could crack your back if you needed them to. I mean, everyone needs their back cracked. every now
I
and again.
haven't been to the doctor yet that said, "Hey, I want to crack your back," but it's I have no idea. They could. They very well could, or they could refer you to a chiropractor in their network.
I know it's one of those things that and I say this because purely and simply, I go to an osteopath
Okay.
to get my back cracked, and not a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
The chiropractors tend to want to keep you coming back, where the doctor wants to deal with the situation, and then you're,
Right.
now you have to manage it.
And that's where your DO is definitely going to be,
Yeah.
in that same category that you're just talking about versus your chiropractor.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So now let's talk about bad insurance.
Okay.
How do people know whether Millennium's going to take their insurance? I mean, it's a huge problem, isn't it?
It is a huge problem. And the thing about insurance is it really varies by county. So regardless, wherever your doctor is, depends on the insurance in that county. And, we're in kind of open enrollment right now for Medicare, for people aging into Medicare who want to make their Medicare changes between, the middle of October till the beginning of December. And so we have a really great program called Medicare Connect, and it will help you. It'll take you to our website. It'll take you to a page where you can put in your insurance, and it will help you locate a doctor with that insurance. Millennium now in the 5-county region up here, we do take just about everything. A lot of our patients have TRICARE because we're a heavy military base. Humana, Aetna, United Healthcare, Florida Blue. So, and then all the ones in between that I have no idea what they are, because there's so many options. Yeah. But yeah, the best way to do it is to call one of our offices, say, I have X, Y, and Z insurance. Do you take that? And likely the answer will be yes.
Goodness me. I mean, you're dealing with these problems with insurance on a daily basis,
all the time.
really.
Sure. I have clients
sure.
that come in, especially they relocate from other counties or they relocate from out of state, and we've got to find the right Medicare program. And a lot of people don't realize that if you move from county to county, you don't have to wait for the open enrollment. You can change Medicare plans right away. You don't have to wait for the open enrollment. The open enrollment is for people that are staying in place, but that is a qualifying event to change your Medicare because you've moved.
Right.
Because the plans vary from county to county.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
It is complicated, especially for a Brit. It comes in, hey, everything's free.
Right.
So yeah, it does get. Now, are you involved in any up and coming events?
So yes, we are very, very philanthropic. We just help support the American Cancer Society Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. We were the first aid tent sponsor there. It was an amazing event. It was so great to see everybody out and about, and really, it was a beautiful day. We support the Alzheimer's Association. They just had a walk. Coming up, we are supporting the American Heart Association Heart Ball. It comes in April of 2022. We really want to be involved, especially in the healthcare nonprofit organizations. Yeah. I mean, it's really important to show our support as a healthcare organization and be a part of those events. We like to support the Boys and Girls Club, and anything else that comes our way, just bring it to my attention, and I will definitely want to support it, because I feel it's very, very important to support the nonprofits. Yes. And it's just one of those things that Millennium's name really just wants to be on the board with.
Yeah. How long did you say that they've actually been here in Florida?
So Millennium came into the Northeast Florida region in May of 2018. So we're in year 3, and with the acquisition of some primary care organizations or some primary care offices that were already in the Jacksonville area, that's how our growth up here began.
Yes, I mean, it was quite obvious. Once you came in, it was like, here we go. Oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another. Oh, look at that big of a building.
So, we're always recruiting new offices and new doctors to our practice, and doctors who really just want to be doctors and want to have that feel of independence, that they are able to show their patients and spend that time with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Accountable Care organization has a lot to say for people wanting to come and see what it's all about. You have a podcast.
I do have a podcast. I'm so happy you brought that up.
No, let's talk about it, because it's a weekly radio show.
It is a weekly radio show. It airs on WOKV 104.5 FM on Saturdays at 5 p.m. It's called Inspiration Health Radio, and it really will cover just about any healthcare topic that's happening. I try to stay very much like Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Alzheimer's Awareness Month. This past weekend on WOKV, it was this past weekend, we talked about National Family Caregiver Month and holiday grief that's coming up. All very, very relevant topics. This weekend we're going to be talking about cholesterol and lipids, and I'm going to learn so much. But it's definitely a really great way to learn more. It's very conversational, and then it pushes out as a podcast on all your favorite podcast platforms. And it's been going since January of 2021, so we're almost a year into the podcast.
Well done.
And the radio show on WOKV.
Well done, because it's another way of getting information out to people, which I think is so important. And this is why we do what we do, because it's getting that information out there. How do people find out more about a Millennium Physician Group within their area?
So it's really easy. It's millenniumphysician.com. And
as long as you can spell millennium.
Millennium, I know.
I mean, there's
it's
a
one
lot
of those words that's really hard. It's 2 L's and 2 N's. Millenniumphysician.com. There's a Find Your Location tab at the top. You can scroll down. Every city that we're in is listed. And then it will also connect you to any questions you have about Medicare. Our Medicare Connect page is also easy to access. If you have any Medicare questions, we're here to help. We have, over 50 providers in this area and 25 offices right now. So a lot in your region.
Thank you for coming in and explaining a little bit more about Millennium Physicians.
I appreciate it.
And don't forget, if you'd like to know any more information about anything that we discuss on caring for seniors, you can also go to iwantabuzz.com.
We are local. We are your local experts in senior housing. We have taken the time to personally set foot in just about every licensed senior community in Northeast Florida. I think that sets us apart in that intimate personal knowledge of the communities in Northeast Florida.